Well, hey everyone. How are y'all doing? Everybody okay? I'm okay. Today I want to do a real quick VR to Miss Coolala's Mystical Musings channel. I met Miss Coolala through Antoinette Tarot and Jewelry when she came on my Wine and Tarot. Miss Coolala was in the chat, and lo and behold, Miss Coolala is also the sister of Rochelle from Amethyst Ascension. So I went over to Miss Coolala's channel to give her a look-see because I didn't know about her before, and let me tell you, this is one knowledgeable lady. And I encourage all of you to go over and follow Miss Coolala. Sip, sip. I have Bananas Foster tea in my cup. It does not taste like bananas at all, but it does taste very caramely, and it's just lovely for a fall morning. What interested me, what caught my eye on Miss Coolala's page is that she's doing, for the month of September, which is now past, I know I'm late, she's doing a series called Know Thy Hand. She's into palmistry. That is a place where I have just never delved before at all. But I wanted to do a VR to her part 1 of Know Thy Hand, and I'm doing a VR, I think, to part 1 of part 1. I will say that she explains things so simply and yet clearly, like it's overwhelming, but you get to understand it so much easier and better through her videos, and I really appreciate that. So thanks, Carla. I'm going to do a VR to most of it. There's part of it that I'm still kind of in the dark about, not quite sure about, but I'm going to do my best. Now, Carla over delivers. She has put together worksheets for each part of this video series. So I have the worksheet up on my computer over here. So I'm going to be referring to that. So the first thing she says to do is to trace or draw your hand, which I have not done yet because I didn't print these out. But then she says to look at your hand shape. So I'm using my left hand because that's my dominant hand, and I measured, and I definitely have a square palm. My palm and my fingers are almost exactly the same length. So I'm going to say that I have a square palm or square hand, and that indicates earth, and it says grounded, reliable, and tactile. I would like to think that I am grounded and that I am reliable, and also because of my vision issues, I many times will rely on tactile. I notice that I do that a lot with knitting now, that I'm not so much actually seeing the stitches, but I'm feeling where I'm at. So there's that. And then she says to look at the mounts, and here's where I'm getting this is where I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment, but I still wanted to do the VR. So the mounts are the little mounds here on our hands, and she says to look at them and to see, like, are they firm? Are they spongy? Like, what do they look like? And I would say for me that this mount, which is the Mount of Luna, is most prominent of these two. And I would say that it is, I mean, firm but spongy, like I can push it. And then of the ones on my fingers, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this one is kind of flat. But my Mount of Saturn and my Mount of Apollo are the ones that are most prominent. And then there are a couple of others, and I'm not quite sure where they're located yet, so I'm going to have to look. She looks at the skin and color and the texture, and mine is definitely pinky. And it's also, I would have to say, you know, I'm a woman of a certain age, so it's definitely not as smooth as it once was, but I wouldn't say that I have rough skin either. So I'm going to say smooth with some wrinkly bits. And she's got some reflections and insights, and I'll read a couple, but I want you to go over and definitely download for yourself. What elemental nature do you feel most aligned with? And I would say that right now I feel most aligned with Earth. I think it's the season for Earth too, but I just feel really grounded and earthy at the moment. And then the next question is, does your hand reflect your personality accurately? I think so. I think so. At least now it does. Okay, and then there's a tarot spread, and this is what I wanted to get into. And I did this tarot spread before I started this video, because when I did the tarot spread, I was like, whoa. So I just said that I feel most connected to Earth right now. And let me get my glasses on so I can see what the heck. Oh no, let me just bring up the magnification on the screen. Sorry, guys. Okay. It says card 1, what elemental force flows through me now? And so I got the 10 of Swords, which would be air and thoughts and overwhelming thoughts. And I would say that I'm coming out of a period where I had some overwhelming thoughts, and you know, it's not something that I want to go into, but it's a personal thing, and family, and just a situation where you go back and you think, what was my part in this? What did I do? And then I kind of go down that spiral. I can really start in that spiral. Did I do everything wrong? And no, I did not. But yeah, so I would say I have been in that place. And the second question is, what am I being asked to recognize about myself? Wait a minute, nope. About my core nature. And this was really hard. This was a hard one to look at, but I can't say that it's untrue, okay? And it is, hold on, it's the 8. And certainly in this situation, I was caught up in the 8. And my core nature is to sometimes get caught up in my thoughts and not be able to see the forest for the trees, because I'm so like caught up in lots of times it's about beating myself up. Lots of times it's about ruminating, and I have to absolutely stop and pull myself out. And my Zen practice has really helped with that a lot. So the third card is, what inner gift lies just beneath the surface of my personality? And it's the Ace of Swords. So notice that I think I'm Earth, and I've got 3 swords cards here. And yeah, it's a new way of thinking. And when I pull myself out of this, you know, when I recognize, and I tend to do it sooner now, when I recognize, okay, you're going down that spiral again and you don't need to do it. I'm really good at turning it around and seeing a different side of things, seeing, okay, what's real? What's real here? Because we're making up a story in our head, you know, those thoughts run away with us and we create stories in our heads. And so I'm like, okay, what's real here? What are the facts? And I think that is a gift. So that is what Miss Coolala has on her worksheets. This is week 1, part 1, and I just wanted to do this VR to her. I hope y'all go over and take a look at her channel. I'll link it below. And I hope that you will also take part in this this series that she's doing. Take care, everyone. Bye.